Hey guys, what is happening and welcome to this video. So in today's video, we are talking about why you should move to the US, but specifically, if you've ever wanted to move to the US, whether you're in Canada or any other country, this may be your time to do it. So without further ado, guys, let's do this. All right, guys, welcome back. So the thing is, right now in the US, there are tons of people retiring. There is a huge labor shortage, which is happening right now in the US due to multiple different things and varying very much on a state-by-state basis. The reason why this might be an opportunity for you is because essentially what that means is US employers could not be more happy to sponsor people to come to the United States than now. So if you've ever wanted to move to the United States, now is the time to do it. And to be totally honest with you, looking around the world, the US, some states in the US are currently enjoying way more freedom than any other place on planet Earth. And that just goes to show the fact that where we've got to today in society is that freedom has become difficult to find. Now, the thing is, guys, obviously the United States isn't perfect. It is no amazing place and everything is perfect by any means. But the US does have high wages for skilled jobs and a low cost of living depending on which state you pick. Not only that, they have some amazing climates which Canada just can't compete with at all. The thing is, we may be looking at moving to the US. This may happen over this year actually, but if we do move there, it will be temporary. The thing is, the US is a great place. I've got a lot of family in the US and they've been all over the US. I've got family in Texas, family in California, family in Georgia, and family in Michigan. So I know all about the different states in the US and what's good and what's bad. So the thing is, I know what to expect. A lot of people will be kind of surprised in the US because the healthcare system is very, very different. And not only that, it's not the best healthcare system by any stretch of the imagination. The US spends a fortune on healthcare, and healthcare is the most expensive in the world. And that's part of the reason why I would never choose to live there long term. Because the fact is, it's okay whilst you're young, but then when you get older, it's going to become more and more of an issue, and healthcare just keeps going up there because the government's inability to do anything properly about it. So all they do is chuck money at it and hope the problems solve themselves. The US government spends more on healthcare than any other government in the world, I think you'll find. Anyway, contrary to that, the US is still a great place to go. And the US has so much more opportunity than Canada, especially in growing your career. In fact, a lot of people who move to Canada just move to Canada because it's easier than moving to the United States. The thing is, when I was looking at moving to Canada and I was making that decision, it was a very, very different Canada than the one today. And if I had to make the same decision today, I would obviously go to the US. The thing is, because of different visas like the L1 visa, it could be very easy for us to move to the US because I am employed by a US employer. So it could make it very easy. That is one of the easiest ways to get into the US, is if you're employed by a US company and you do a transfer to the US. That's going to be your easiest option. That's how a lot of people from Canada move to the US. There is certainly other ways that you can move to the US. Canadians uniquely have another visa that they can look at, which is the NAFTA visa. Now, the NAFTA visa, or the TN visa, is very easy to get. I think you don't even have to file any paperwork for it. You can just go to the border with the correct paperwork and you can get the visa issued there. and it's extendable too. So I think initially it's 2 years, but you can just extend it. But it is classed as a temporary visa. So the thing with that is there are certain things that make it more complicated if you want to get a green card, but by no means impossible at all. In fact, the US, contrary to what people think, certain ways are actually easier to move to the US than it is to move to Canada. But people wouldn't have you believe that. The thing that makes Canada kind of unique and Australia unique is the fact that they have a system where anybody without a job offer can apply for permanent residence in Canada, or a green card as you call it in the US. They don't make it any easier, that much easier, if you do have a job offer. It's a points-based system. It's meant to be fairer, and I guess it is fairer in a lot of different ways. The US's system is much older. It's more like the system that we have in the UK. But having said that, it's actually quite easy to get visas and stuff for the US, especially if you're going for the L1 visa. The L1 visa is very easy to get. That's how most people actually move from the UK to the US. And that's part of the reason why Canada and the UK can't apply for the visa lottery program, because so many people actually move from these countries to the US. So the thing is, there are options available to Canadians and available to other people as well. So the thing is, there's no excuse of saying, oh, I can't move to the US, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Anybody can do it. The thing is, and I'm promoting this because quite frankly, I can't promote coming to Canada anymore. I would advise people against coming to Canada. You know, Canada and Australia have a lot of restrictions. You know, I don't see it getting any better for Canada, put it this way. I look at the governments and the governments that could be in charge, and they're all just, there's no good choice. There's no good choice. And I'm not saying there's a good choice in America, but I'm just saying Americans respect their freedoms much more than most people in the world. So whereas Canadians kind of just lay down and get bulldozed, in America, people stand up for their freedoms and liberty. And the thing is, I'm not saying people don't do that. Even I do that. I've been to freedom rallies and different things, but it's just such a small number in comparison to the US. So the thing is, I just feel like because of that, your freedoms and your liberty, they're going to be more protected in the US. And we can already see that play out right now. I mean, if you go to some states like Montana that I just visited, it's like the cerveza sickness doesn't even exist anymore. And it's like 2019. And I just think that is fantastic. I think that is great. They're putting a lot of these things down to personal choice. Over here in Canada, they want to force that on people. And it's the same with taking the medicine. Whether you're for or against taking the medicine, that is not what I'm here to discuss. I am just pro-freedom, that people should have the option to choose whether they want to take it or don't want to take it. And it's become quite evident, unless you've had your head stuck in the sand, that the governments just don't listen to the science at all and are just literally basing all these restrictions just off their own lack of critical thinking. And that's the thing that scares me, guys, is the fact that there is no critical thinking in countries like Canada. Justin Trudeau has become like an authoritarian leader. His influence is trickling down to all the provinces. There's no escaping it. And really, I don't see it getting any better from here. The other thing is, Canada is also due for a financial crisis, which I think is going to come to light over the next couple of years. A lot of people would disagree with me on that, but they don't really understand macroeconomics and what's going on in the economy right now, which is huge risk-taking by the banks. And guess who is going to bail them out? Guess who is going to bail them out? It's the Canadian taxpayer. And the thing is, guys, I don't want to be on the hook for that bill. So I don't want to be here. And I'm standing up and I'm saying no, because even if we get our freedoms back, then we're still going to be on the hook for this massive financial crisis. And the collateral damage, the crossfire that this crisis is going to cause is going to blow people's minds. And the thing is, it's going to lead to a lot of people leaving Canada, and eventually it will lead to a recovery. But that could take decades to happen. So I would rather watch that from another country and then come back when it's starting to recover than actually just sit there and have a miserable life for decades living in a recession/depression. The thing is, guys, you all have to make your bed and lie in it, and this isn't doom and gloom in my opinion. This is just really being a realist, just looking at what's coming, just looking at the wave that is inevitably going to come, and just think, yeah, it's going to happen. The thing is, guys, the risk taking that's been took during the cerveza sickness has been absolutely insane. And the reason that people have been allowed to take such risks during the cerveza sickness is because the economy is built up on the housing market, and without that risk taking, we'd still be in a recession right now. So they decided to let that risk taking take place, and they inevitably don't think that there will be a crisis. You see, I've been looking into way politicians and the economists are taught that are in government, and it would scare you the way they're taught, because they are taught that these financial crises just happen and there's nothing that you can do about it, when it is quite the opposite. Here I am, I'm not an economist, and I am literally predicting this because I can see it in people's psychology and what they've done to themselves. So it's not just that. If you look at the facts, the credit, the wage gap, it's just so huge now, it's inevitable. So anyway, guys, I hope you got some good information from this video, and I will see you in the next video. Peace and love, guys. Bye-bye.